And hello everybody, welcome back to my pseudo let's play thingamajig. This is the worst level in the game, the library. And possibly one of the worst levels in like all of Halo ever. So yeah. The level's actual design is pretty cool. It evokes this almost like giant archival cathedral sort of thing, but the fact that you fight Flood constantly, admittedly with one of the best music tracks in the game that makes the Flood terrifying just with the soundtrack. Yeah, the Flood are very irritating to fight. And here I go, getting the shotgun immediately, which is basically necessary to beat the level, and I immediately die. I hate this level. Yeah. This level is not fun to play at all. Not helped by the fact that you have Flood that carry shotguns, and on the higher difficulties can one-shot you at close range. But yeah, the shotgun is basically, like, the shotgun being amazing in this game is part of the reason why this level is doable, because most of the other weapons lack the raw burst damage that the shotgun can put out. The pistol can do it, but the shotgun can hit a bunch of enemies at range in one shot. Yeah. And yeah, you lots of Flood with shotguns for some reason. Yeah. And there I go, death by the carrier form. And the thing that probably most annoys me about this level is the way the checkpoints go. Yeah, I die a lot in this level. Yeah, the Flood. This is where the Flood go from being, oh, this really cool enemy, to, oh my god, the Flood suck, why? I immediately almost die again. Boosh. Yeah, the Flood is an interesting adversary in this game. I'm looking for shotgun ammo for some reason, but whatever. I don't know why I spent so long looking for shotgun ammo in this area, but I did. Anyway, the Flood, so actually we can use this level as a segue to talk about the different enemy types. So in Halo 1, you have, for the Covenant side of things, you've got Your normal, you have the grunts and the jackals, which form the majority of the Covenant forces, believe it or not. You'll kill more grunts and jackals than any other enemy type. You have the elites, which serve as the commanders, and they're also kind of almost on equal footing to a Spartan in terms of their strength and the like. And then you have the hunters, which are the sort of kind of mini boss fights. God, those guys have such a long range with the melee. Oh yeah, probably the worst part about the Flood in this level is the fact that they infinitely respawn. They never end. But yeah. You have the grunts, you've got your normal yellow grunts, or orange grunts, which are the miners. You've got grunt majors, which have the red armor. They have slightly more health and are slightly more accurate shots. Then you have the jackals. You've got normal miners and majors. These are fairly obvious based on the color of their shield. Because you've got the miners, which have the blue shield, and then you have the majors, which have the orange shield. The majors take slightly more hits. They both, jackals, both ranks of jackal in this game only carry plasma pistols. And both of them will shoot at you at reasonably long ranges with the overcharge shot. Whereas grunt miners will almost only ever carry plasma pistols, while majors can sometimes be carrying needlers. And both will throw grenades at you. Elite miners will be either wielding, most of the time they'll be wielding plasma rifles, and then sometimes they'll have needlers, which they'll fire at full auto at you. Oh, shut up, Guilty Spark. Nobody cares. Oof. However, the red elite majors are mostly the same. They have slightly stronger shields and a little bit more health. I think they'll fire a little bit faster and more accurately. It's weird. But then there are also the Flood major, or sorry, the elite majors will also carry plasma rifles and needlers, and both will throw grenades and melee you. And there I go, death by, I think I die in this section a lot, so I'll just keep talking.
Puzzling. You brought such ineffective weapons to combat the Flood, despite the containment protocols.
But the elites with the needlers can actually kill you very quickly if you don't take care of them soon enough. There are also invisible elites, the stealth elites. They lack energy shielding, but obviously they're invisible, so you have to be a bit more vigilant when you're fighting them. Invisible elites will either be equipped with the energy sword or with a plasma rifle.
It is insidious and elegant, as long as any hosts remain.
Hooray for health pack. Whew. Oh yeah, overshield, hell yeah. But there are also elite zealots, or generals. They're the gold-colored elites. They have the gold armor. They'll usually be armed with energy swords, although they'll also be ones armed with plasma rifles. But typically you'll see them armed with energy swords. Obviously, energy swords can hit one-hit kill you on the anything higher than easy. So normal, heroic, legendary, one-hit kills, which is what makes them so dangerous.
Research facilities are most impressive. Perhaps we'll have time to see them later.
If only Guilty Spark. Then there are hunters. There's only the one kind of hunter in the game. They have the fuel rod cannon, and then they have the shield, which they can melee you with. And that's it. That's all of the different types of Covenant in the game. Actually, no, that's incorrect. There are Spec Ops Covenant with the black armor. In the well, actually, in the level after this one. No, it's the Keys level. You'll fight Keys level and the Maw. You'll actually fight against Spec Ops Elites, Spec Ops Elites, and Spec Ops Grunts, which have black armor, and there are Spec Ops Grunts which can carry fuel rod cannons, which are interesting. Hooray for some peace. But yeah, there are the Spec Ops Elites, which in this game are black, although in later games their color is changed to white. Not really sure why, but eh. And the Spec Ops Elites have the standard plasma rifle and plasma grenades. Lots of flood. Lots of flood.
Flood activity has caused a failure in a drone control subsystem. I must reset the backup unit. Please continue on. I will rejoin you when I've completed my task.
Oh, I'm sure. This is when he leaves you at the door. Fortunately, you do get some help throughout parts of the level with the Sentinels. Yeah, this playthrough was done on normal, so I mean, you've already seen how many times I've died, so it's not easy, but it's not impossible, obviously. It's just not particularly fun. Yeah, the Flood I enjoy as an enemy, as a counterpart to the Covenant. When it's only the Flood, when you're only fighting the Flood all the time, it's not as fun, weirdly enough. I think they actually got the Flood combat loop down quite well in Halo 3. Halo 3 is obviously the best that the Flood has ever been, so... Although I do enjoy the more fungal aspects of the Flood more in Halo 1 than I do the kind of spongy, more sponge-like, honestly, in Halo 3. Excuse me.
To manage the Flood only for a short time. Speed is of the essence.
Yeah. Thankfully, this being on normal, you don't see any rocket launcher Flood until much later in the level, towards the very end. But on the higher difficulties, yeah, you have to worry about Flood with rocket launchers, and they're crazy accurate with them for some reason. I don't know why. Here I am putting the shotgun's reasonably decent punch at range to use. Very good at tearing apart the Flood.
Please look here.
Oh yeah, this is the one where the flood jumped through the hole. Yeah, because they can fucking do that. Because that's not annoying at all. I must be thinking of a different door. I will say they do make the traversal of this level a little bit less, what's the word? Maze-like with the anniversary graphics, because they have like arrows on the floor that point you to the correct destination. Come back, Flood. You must die. Something that they don't really have in the later games, but it's here, is when you shoot an infection form, the explosion from one infection form pops other infection forms. They removed that after this game. I'm not really sure why. Although they did change it so that if you stick a carrier form with a plasma grenade or a spike grenade, when it explodes, it also explodes all of the infection forms that would normally be spawned. So oh, never mind. There's rocket launcher Flood right there. I hate rocket launcher Flood so very much. But anyway, I lied. There was the rocket launcher Flood. Oh, they're so annoying. But yeah, as far as the Flood in this game goes, all you've got is infection forms, human combat forms, and elite combat forms, and the carrier forms. That's it. 4 forms. But because they fanatically throw themselves at you with no regard for their safety, the Flood is a lot scarier to fight than the Covenant is. Because taking cover and, maintaining your own safety is not a thing that the Flood care about.
Your environment suit can serve you well when the flood begins to alter the atmosphere. You are a good planner.
I think I actually got the rocket launcher Flood form, weirdly enough. Come on. Oh, there he is. It's always shocking to see the rocket launcher form. Ooh, Jesus. Yeah, the Flood is just relentless in this level.
It is surely the only way to end the flood threat.
Fortunately, the carrier forms serve as both temporary grenades because they blow up the combat forms just as much as they blow you up. On to the next elevator. Thank God. This level, thankfully, is not terribly long, but yeah, it's not fun either, really. But yeah, the Flood would go on to become a much more complex enemy in the Halo 2 and 3. I am very curious to see if the Flood make a return in Halo Infinite, because that would be
that the other species currently on
very
the
interesting.
installation is responsible for releasing the flood. They seem most persistent in their attempts to access restricted areas.
Okay, check up the time on how much is left of the video. But yeah, it would make for a very interesting change of pace to have the Flood come back. You know, you could have, obviously, supposedly the Banish is going to be the main threat, but I think it would be much more interesting if we were to see the Flood return and have the Created's forces as an enemy threat. We know Cortana is going to be in Halo Infinite in some way. In what way specifically, don't really know yet, but recently saw an interview thing with Chris Lee from some website somewhere. I forget exactly what, talking about how Halo Infinite is less of a proper open world and more of having just really large, expansive levels, which I think is for the better, because having Halo Infinite be actually open world is kind of a scary thought, to be honest, because with the talk of Halo Infinite being the platform for the next 10 years of Halo, it's giving me very Destiny / Anthem vibes. And while Destiny 2 is apparently in a decent place, so I've been told, I don't really want that style of game applied to Halo, if I'm being honest. I'm all for Halo Infinite having large-scale levels, but I'd much rather it be a proper campaign-style game. But we'll see. Follow him to the index, it says.
Release and mass sterilization protocols may again need to be amended. Of course, samples were kept here after the last catastrophic outbreak for study. It seems that decision made.
Oh, you don't say, Guilty Spark! Seeing as how now the Flood is at risk of spreading again. Like, you don't say. Yeah, why the Forerunners thought... I mean, obviously the Bungie did this, because, video game logic. Obviously, it's very dumb that the Forerunners kept any Flood alive after the Halo array fired, but...
Built to study and contain the Flood. Their survival as a race was dependent upon it. I am grateful to see that some of them survived to reproduce.
Well, I'm sure all the people they've infected are not happy about it. Remember, people, wear your mask or you'll become like the Flood. That's a joke. Don't take that seriously. God, the Flood just never stopped spawning in this level. That was a hell of an explosion.
I am a genius.
Really?
Wait here.
Here I go, hiding in my little corner. And the scary Halo Flood music returns. I'm kind of sad that this track never made a return after Halo 1. the Flood got different music in Halo 2 and 3, but I'm kind of sad that this music track never made a return. I think this is a great track, and it fits the Flood pretty well. So, but yeah, back to talking about bringing back the Flood. Seeing as how the Banished have had some experience fighting the Flood, I think it would be a great way of having an enemy faction temporarily stop being an enemy faction to help you fight the Flood, and then once the Flood is taken care of, you can go back to fighting the Banished. Unlike the Covenant in Halo 1, 2, and 3, which still continues to fight you even while the Flood is a threat. Although in Halo 3, the Flood actually aligned with you for a level, so, you know. Hooray for the shotgun. Praise be unto the Lord of Death, the shotgun. I believe this is the last elevator of the level. Yeah. Shouldn't be too much left of it now. Shotgun, pistol. Shotgun, pistol. The best Flood combat combination in Halo 1. Halo 2, actually, because you get the access to the energy sword is very good at killing the Flood. So you can use it to kill off Flood combat forms. Same thing with the energy sword in Halo 3 as well. Although in Halo 3 you get you can also have access to the gravity hammer, which is even better at killing the Flood. Hooray for the pistol. Another one of those go down below sections. Oof.
I am a genius.
They definitely got Guilty Spark's character down really well as someone who's not quite right. I mean, admittedly, to be sure, if you had been sitting in a ring for, 100,000 years by yourself, you'd go crazy too. One does have to wonder, though, why Guilty Spark's immediate, I mean, obviously, I know why for gameplay reasons, for the story of Halo 1 when they were originally writing it. But in the deeper part of the lore, one has to wonder why Guilty Spark's immediate first option upon the Flood being initially released was, oh, time to activate the ring. Like, it just happened. You can give it as, help out the local forces to stop the Flood first, before immediately going for the nuke option, Plasma grenades, and the dogs going barking outside.
It's parasitic. We monitor for its intelligence.
I mean, the Flood did win in the Forerunner Flood War after all, so... And here's, the final section of the level. So... Yeah, this is a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun. hooray for the shotgun. Like, I will forever say that about the library. Hooray for the shotgun. And here we go. So thank you everybody for watching my this episode. Listen to me ramble about Halo Infinite. I will be seeing you all in the next episode, and take care.
You may now retrieve the index. Protocol requires that I take possession of the index for transport. Your organic form renders you vulnerable to infection. The index must not fall into the hands of the Flood before we reach the control room and activate the installation. The Flood is spreading. We must hurry.